Welcome to the Mary D. Welch Show, Mondays at 1 p.m. Welcome our guest and host, an awesome woman that's going to bring you some great information, Mary D. Welch.
Hi, everybody. Hello. I tell you, I am so excited that you're here at the very first Mary D. Welch Show. I'm excited because, there's a lot going on in this world, but just to have some time, some downtime, and for us to come together, that's what this is. You're going to learn. We'll have guests coming on. You'll learn about, as many of you know, or you may or may not know, I'm an author. I write predominantly children's books, but I write books in different genres too. And I talk about that, about how those of you that may be interested in writing a book, how to go about that and learn from that. But really, we learn from each other. We really, really do. I give you a chance you can email me if you have questions. You can communicate. It's not like it's one-sided. I mean, I get to talk to you, but you get to talk to me too. So that makes a difference to me because I don't just sit here and go, oh, what am I thinking? I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what's going on in your mind. We are, this time of technology and the things we can do, it's just awesome. It is really, really awesome. So I know today our guest is Dr. Frederick Jones. He is coming on. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. You know how that goes. This is our first one. So that's another thing. When you have the first one coming on, you also have just some, these little glitches and things like that. Nothing big, but just something to keep you going, that kind of thing. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sweet. That's my sister-in-law. Thank you, Lily. I want to thank you. Congrats. I appreciate that. I'm excited. But I wanted to come to you today. The one thing we can talk about, ladies and gentlemen, is what does it take to be motivated? What does it take? Those of you that say, well, I've done everything I want to do in life. Well, I can honestly tell you, I haven't. There's some things I still want to do. There's some places I still want to go. Some things I want to see. I have not gotten to the point I can sit back and say, that's it. As if, okay, now you're going to put me in a grave. No. As long as you are breathing, you still have life in your body. You have something to offer. You have something to give. Never sit back and say, I don't think there's ever a time you can sit back and say you're there, you've arrived. I don't think that time exists. I think we are every single day. I try to learn at least one thing. I may not learn 100 things, but can I learn one thing more today than I did yesterday to get me motivated, to keep me going? I try to listen to positive things all the time. Hi there. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. I try every single day. I don't, and I may miss a day here or there, but for the most part, even if I read something, I hear something that I didn't hear the day before. And I try to make that part of my lifestyle because, there's so much to learn. There's so much to do. And as we all know, this is we're in the technology phase of society. There has never been so much technology at our fingertips as it has now. But how can it keep you motivated? I know for me, I can tell you what I do every day to keep myself motivated. One, I read the Word. I read the Bible every day. I try to read. I may not read of course, obviously I don't read the whole Bible, but I want something to fulfill my spirit. And that's what I do daily. In addition to keep me motivated and keep me going, I try to walk every morning. Now, I'm not saying you have to walk a long ways, but I think I just like being out in nature. I just love the fresh air and hearing the birds sing. And one thing I notice, I go walk in the morning, I see the squirrels running around. I do see that. I see the squirrels running. So that's another thing I see a lot. So that's another thing that I would tell you that keeps me going. Just feeling the sun, feeling the wind, all of that. It makes a difference. I think we have Dr. Jones. He's trying to get in. So I'm going to try and so I can let him come and click the link and see if we can let him on in. Okay. And see if he can come in. Okay. There we go. There we go. We try to multitask. Don't we all try to multitask? So I just wanted to tell you those kind of things keep me motivated. One thing I noticed too for me is I have a system that I do the same thing every morning. And that's been working for me too. But I've learned too, it's the little things. It's not big, gigantic things that get me motivated. It's little things. It's just living and enjoying right where I am and not feeling like I have to compare myself to anything or anyone. Just being okay. Just being okay. Oh, thank you, Elaine. Oh my goodness. I just saw her on a call just a few minutes ago. Hi there, sweetheart. So I would tell you, what are you? What motivates you to keep going? Now I know I can sit here and like, man, you guys, some people are looking at me, you think, oh, she has it all together. She has everything. She said she doesn't have any problems. Now you know I'd be lying. If I even those words came out of my mouth. Just like anybody else. I have problems, I have issues, I have all those things. But this is what I've learned. I make a choice every single day to look at life positively. Every single day. No matter what I'm going through, no matter what issues, no matter what problems, I keep looking at the glass. Instead of looking at it half empty, I look at it half full. It's always going up, no matter what I'm feeling. And I'm not going to say that's easy, but I will tell you it's doable. And what I've noticed when you do that, it seems that you send out, or you radiate positive energy, and that positive energy radiates back. When you think, I don't know about you, when I go into that negative hole, it seems like everything is negative. Not one thing is negative, everything is negative. And that when everything is negative, I can't stay motivated. I get depressed and I can't keep going. But when I think of things, I flip around and I go, okay, what good is in this situation? We know there's some bad things there, but where's the good in it? What can you find that's positive to keep going, to keep functioning, to stay motivated? And that's where I try to be. That's where I try to stay. And I'm not trying to say I do it every day, but I would say, honestly, I do it a lot. I do it a lot because I don't want to stay in that deep, dark place of depression and the hopelessness. And I don't want to go on. I've been there. I've been there. And it is just not the place I want to stay. So I try not to be there all the time. Oh, okay. This is Dr. Jones trying to figure out. He's like, well, I want to get in. I think what I'm going to do is I'll give him the number to our producer. And that way he can call him, he can let him in. So hold on just a minute. You guys, even though I know I'm live, you guys are like, what is this lady doing? But this is the first one. So you guys definitely have to bear with us on this. But after this, we'll get over the bumps and lumps. I can tell you that. We will get over them. And then we'll move on to the next thing. So I'm trying to send over to the producer so he can have it. And that way they can talk to each other and he can let him in. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. That way. Copy that and send it to you, Dr. Jones. Because he's trying to get in. I know what happens then when you can't get into something like this, you get frustrated. And I understand that. So I know he's like, well, how do I get in there? I know he's waiting on he's trying to get in and he's having a problem getting in, and that's not fun. That's just not fun. So hold on, just bear with me for a minute, people. Let's see. Do I want to call him? No. And if I call him in the middle of the show, huh? Well, hold on. Just a minute. I'm gonna put his number in here so I can get our producer to call him. And that way he can let him in. Hold on. Here we go. Let's see. Dr. Jones, he's just waiting to get in here. He's like, what's going on? I can't get in. But we're going to let him in, okay? Just a second here. Let's see. Give me a minute. Let's see. I think, oh, no, that's, you know what happened? I'm giving, because you know what it is. I'm trying to be in a rush. And when you're in a rush, you know you're going to make mistakes. At least I do. So I have to slow down and then I'll get it right. There we go. This is the right number. Uh-huh. There we go. Let me send that to the producer. Okay. And he will give him a call and he'll tell him how to get in. There you go. All right. Uh-oh. I'm sorry. It's 318. I'm sorry, it's 318. Brian, not 218. Ah! See, I told you guys I'm trying to hurry up and do it. That's what it is. It's 318. 318. And then, but that's okay. You know what I've learned? You roll with the punches, people. This is life. This is how it is. You roll with the punches. But he's going to come on in. And I can tell you this as I introduce him. Dr. Jones he's an attorney. His specialty is intellectual property. He was a professor for years and he decided to leave now he hasn't left the law profession, but he's gone on to become a multiple #1 Amazon best-selling author. He has multiple books on Amazon. Not only that, he has helped over 40 people become #1 Amazon best-selling authors. Oh, think about that. And I'm one of those people. Dr. Jones, I'm with those of you familiar with my books. That's who I've been working with. Okay. He's the one that has helped me to become a #1. Those of you familiar with my books, he's the one that I've been working with. I'm really excited about working with him. I'm gonna tell him they're trying to call you. And he has helped me with my book becoming #1, not just one of my books, the 2 children's books. Well, not just that. It's the first book is There's a Rocket in My Pocket. That became #1. And okay. And then in addition to that, the second book that came out is Saying No Nicely, became #1 on Amazon. And the third book is Have You Seen a Red Elephant? All 3 of my books are #1. And I really owe that to Dr. Jones. That's how I met him a few years ago. But he's been very instrumental in the fact that the books have become #1. So I can't thank him enough. So I'm one of the 40 authors that he has worked with. So if you are writing a book and you would like it to be #1, I would definitely encourage you to speak with Dr. Jones. Now he does all books. I predominantly work with children's books. That's my go-to. I love working with children's books. That is, I don't know why. I cannot tell you why that is. It's just, it has become such a part of me. And since we have this commercial time here, I'll show for those of you some of you know, you've seen the books. This is the very first book I ever published. There's a Rocket in My Pocket. It is on Amazon. So I was just giving you the title. That's the very first one. The second one I published is Saying No Nicely, and that's for adults. That's the book for adults. The second book for children is this one, Have You Seen a Red Elephant? This is on Amazon right now also. And they'll be turned into paperbacks pretty soon. They're right now digital. And this book is coming. It's not out yet. This is my prototype. And that's Obi, the pink whale with the yellow tail. And this will be coming out soon. And I'll let you guys know when that one comes out. The other one that I have, some of you are familiar with that, and that's the Big Black Journal. The journals are coming out too. The journals should be coming out. I think, well, the one is out now. The first one is out now. The Big Black Journal is out now. And that one has been very well received. I can't thank you guys enough for that. That one people really love that journal. And I think it's because right now, with what's going on in our society, we are all, as they say, we feel in some kind of way. But you know what I noticed? Do you write it down? Are you letting your family know how you feel? Are you letting your children know, your grandchildren, Are you writing poetry, songs? Um, you're emotional. How do you feel about what's going on in society? All of this, because we're living history. I don't have to even tell you guys this. This is history. We are living it. There is no, you may say, well, history's in those history books. How did it get in that history book? Everything you see that's going on now will be in a book one day. One day. I remember speaking to my mother about that, about she had lived through segregation. That's how she grew up. She grew up in the South, and segregation was a part of life. And I asked her to come one day and speak to my class about it. And she said, Mary, I can't do that. And I said, why, Mom? She said, because I'll stand in front of them and I'll cry. She said, the pain of it is so, it hurts so bad and so deep, I couldn't even speak it. But it taught me, because she didn't talk about it. I didn't really know the pain of it, her or my dad, because they couldn't talk about it. They didn't want it to affect us. It was something they didn't want their children to ever feel, so they couldn't speak about it. But it looks like, oh, they said that Dr. Jones has made it in. Dr. Jones, are you coming on in? They said he's in. Oh, okay, can he hear me? There he is. Dr. Jones, yay!
Hello.
It's nice to see you. Welcome, Dr. Jones. I gave your introduction. I was telling everyone how we've known each other for a little while and that you're an attorney. I know that you've been practicing law for a number of years. But there's a lot about you, Dr. Jones. I probably still don't know. I'm going to let you tell everyone about everything about you.
Well, I mean, I'm glad to be here. Are we coming through good? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you're fine.
Glad to be here. Thank you for this opportunity to share. I'm a book coach and I help people write their worth, value their voice, and tell their stories. So I'm honored to be here with you on your program today and to share and support you and to support your audience.
Thank you. I know, in addition, I was sharing with the audience that you've helped over 40 people become #1 Amazon bestsellers. Is that correct? 40 authors?
Yeah, I think it ticked up a little bit. Last week we had another class, and I worked with about three or four other authors and helped them get their books out. But over the years, I've learned Amazon's system. I've studied it. I researched it more than probably about 10 years ago, 2015 actually. So that's 5 years ago. But 5 years ago, I got started in Amazon, and I set a Google alert, and I studied everything about Amazon and Kindle, and I started publishing books when I was a professor teaching business law and ethics at Kennesaw State University. And I saw where books went to #1, and then I saw where another book went to #1. And as a result of those books going to #1, I said, wow, I'm on to something here. I can help other people do this. And since that time, more than 40 people have become best-selling authors, and more than 40 people have become best-selling authors, and I've helped hundreds of other people publish and write their books, and it's just a joy. It's just a joy to see people's lives transform through publishing their books.
All right. Well, Dr. Jones, I know you were. I know you just. Is it today? Is your father's 100th birthday? Was it today?
Yeah, my dad's father's. Yeah, correct.
Okay, so today he would have been 100.
Yes,
Mr.
exactly.
Mose Jones. Why don't you tell us some things about your dad? Because I know that your very first book was about your father, correct?
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for this question. My dad, he was the kind of man. He was the kind of man. Boy, oh boy. Okay, here we go. My dad was an entrepreneur. My dad was a farmer, but he did a lot of different things. He was a leader, and he loved to serve people and help people. So he was a man of faith. He brought us to church. He believed in God. But one of the things that stands out about my dad is that my dad was in media for over 30 years back in the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. He had a radio show, and he would go to the radio station every Sunday morning to play music for the community, make announcements for the community. So he was in media a long time ago, many, many years ago. I saw him do that. He was a community man. I saw him serve the community, serve the public, but most importantly, as a father, I saw him lead our family in a way that all centered around education. uh, and just incredible guy when it came down to educating his family. He had an 8th grade education, and mom had a 3rd grade education. But they believed in education, and they saw to it that we got through school. And as a result, all of us graduated from college. All of us graduated from high school. I'm from a family of 14, 9 girls, 5 boys. All of us graduated from high school, and 11 of us went on to get some college education.
All right. All
And
right.
today, almost all of us are entrepreneurs.
Okay. I know that you're also, I believe, one of your sons. I'm not sure both of them are in your business with you.
Right, right. Both of them are actually in it with me, and but one is in a little bit more than the other one. But
Mhm.
both of my sons are involved in the business, and I recently got married, so I have 2 daughters and 4 grandkids, and they are also coming right on into the business. So I'm excited about building this business around family and doing something that I really love to do.
I know. Well, your lovely wife, Loretta, she has been a support. I'm surprised she's not there. Now now that you mentioned it.
No, she's at the library today.
Okay. All right. Well,
Uh-huh.
I know too. The book you wrote for about your dad, was it about your dad? Or the
Yeah,
first book was all about your dad, correct?
yeah. The book was called "About My Father's Business: The Life and
Mm,
Wisdom of Mose Jones." And what I talked about there was how Dad just basically, off of a sharecropper's salary, worked the land and showed us how to be leaders and how to provide. And one thing I remember about my dad, as I was growing up, I heard him say something that I'll always hold on to, and it was this. He said, "I will go through fire for my children." That
mm,
has always built a sense of confidence in me and a sense of courage that has just blown me away. And another thing, the book that you're talking about my father's business,
mhm,
Coach Mary, that book birthed my business. And let me tell
mm,
you why. There was a picture of my dad sitting out on the front porch in his overalls and the fan, and he was just sitting out on the front porch, and he'd gotten a copy of that book. And he sat there and he looked in that book, and he was looking at this book, and he was looking at it. And I happened to have my camera, and I caught a snapshot of him looking at that book.
mm,
And to see the pleasure in his eyes, to
mm,
see the fulfillment in his eyes of holding a book about him that was written by his son.
yeah.
It was a fulfillment and a look that I said, wow, if a book will do that for somebody, I'm going to write more books.
Oh, well, there was one particular story I heard you tell about your dad that it touched me. To be honest with you, you told the story, I believe it was on Periscope, and it was about how once a year, all the sharecroppers received money from the government,
Mm-hmm.
and this year, the owner of the land took your dad's money. Do you want to tell us that story, Dr. Jones?
Every year, when there was sharecropping, the government would send out a check. It was like a subsidized check, or it was a payment
Mhm.
that the government would give to help the sharecroppers. So, the guys in the community, they all knew each other. They went to church together and all this kind of stuff. So they would tell each other, "I got my check. I got my check." Yeah, and Daddy didn't get his check, and he would ask, "Did he get his check?" Well, he figured, okay, the check came, but the landlord would get the check. And so the landlord got his check, and he never gave it to my dad. So my daddy said, And by the way, this check would only come once a year, and it was like a
Mhm.
payment for the whole year, and the family had to live off of that. They had to live off of that. And so my daddy says, like, you know what? I'm not getting paid anything. Life is not worth it to try to live and work all year and make nothing. He said, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kill him. I'm just going to kill the man. And
Mhm.
so my daddy got his shotgun and loaded his shotgun that Saturday night and put it beside his bed. And he said, when I see him tomorrow, which was a Sunday, he said, I'm just going to just kill him. And so daddy went to bed, and he and mom, they went to bed that night. Daddy got up and he decided to go to church. And he went to church, and there was a teacher that came from, I believe it was Minnesota, Maryland. She was teaching on the power of forgiveness and how God wants us to forgive. And daddy said he showed up to church that day, and after he heard that teaching, he said it just left him. The thing he said he decided it just left him. And he said he forgave that guy and went on to live his life and to do the best he could. And as a result, we all are here today. And my dad died in 2007. My mom died 2010. But for the last 10 to 15 years since my dad and mom have been gone, our family has been praying together every Saturday morning for 30 minutes to a half hour. We've been doing that for almost going on 10 to 15 years.
Mhm.
That's the kind of legacy that he left.
But it was another part to that story about how the farmer's wife.
Oh yeah. So Daddy was going by the nursing homes in Winsboro some years later, and he was walking down the hall visiting people in the nursing home, and this lady cried out, "Mose, Mose!" And Daddy said he turned around and he looked, and he went in there to see who it was, and and she was like about to die. She was very weak. She says, Mose, forgive me. Mose, forgive me.
Mhm.
And I said, Daddy, did you ask her to forgive you for what? He said, shit, I didn't have to ask her. I knew what she was talking about.
Mhm. That's right.
He just forgave her and went on. So, Coach Mary, that brings me back to a quote. I want to share this quote with you that you've probably seen it on Facebook, but I shared this quote, and so many people, it resonates with so many people. I want to share it with your audience because I believe it will bless them. And it's about forgiveness because a lot of us have challenges with forgiving people sometimes.
Mhm.
We get hung up on that unforgiveness thing, but I'm here to tell you it's a powerful force to forgive. And here's the quote. Here's the quote.
Okay.
To love your enemy is to love yourself. Anyone who can cause you to hate them will cause you to destroy yourself.
Ooh. Ooh.
To
That,
love your enemy is to love
mhm.
yourself. Anyone who can cause you to hate them will cause you to destroy yourself. You see, so we can't hate anybody today. We got to love
Mhm.
ourselves, know that we're powerful, phenomenal. And my dad and my mom taught me that. They taught us how
Mhm.
to love, they taught us how to lead, and they taught us how to forgive. Mm,
Oh, that's
mhm.
a blessing. That's a blessing. I tell you the stories I've heard from you, Dr. Jones. They touch my heart. I can tell you that right now. They,
Wow.
yeah, and I like that one of forgiveness. I really do. I know you always have. Hi there. Look, hi Vicky. I see the names pop in here. Uh,
Yeah.
I would like to. I know some. Oh, there's somebody. They made a comment. It's from Elaine about the grandparents. Okay, okay, Elaine. Okay, I was reading over her comment, but I just really wanted to go over some. You always have different programs and projects going on. Do you have anything going on right now that we'd be interested in, Dr. Jones?
Well, Coach Mary, I have a bestseller overnight for those people who want to
Mhm.
write a book. A lot of people think that writing a book is hard. They think that writing a
Mhm.
book has to be this big thing that seems that they can't find time to do it. Well, that's not the case. I mean, folks could work with you, First Book Academy. You do a phenomenal job with helping them get their children books written and getting the children books published. So I would encourage them to find out what you got going on and get with you, because I think you make a phenomenal coach. You can help them get. You've written over 30 or 40 books, and you're best-selling author, and you've done a lot of phenomenal things yourself. So I would just love to encourage them to seek you out and work with you, because you definitely could help them get there and accomplish their goals.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Jones. But I know I tend to work with children's book authors. That tends to be my specialty. But for those people that are working with, it is so important. Thank you, Elaine. Those people that are working on fiction or nonfiction, or they're working on their memoirs, I highly, highly, highly recommend Dr. Jones.
Yeah.
Extremely. I mean, I've been through his program. And as you weren't on earlier when I was mentioning to you, Dr. Jones said, my very first book went #1, but it was under your guidance and your tutelage, you and your encouragement, and really showing me the ropes. So I can't thank you enough for that. And I would encourage anyone, if you're starting out and you have a book, like I said, a nonfiction or fiction, get in contact with Dr. Jones, and he's going to leave his contact information. Dr. Jones, you want to give them a website they can go to get in contact with you?
Yes, if anyone would like to reach out to me, just drfredjones.com/call. drfredjones.com/call. You're going to go there. There's a free webinar training there. It's all about becoming a bestseller before you launch your book. drfredjones.com/call.
All right. So I don't want to get off without you giving that a way to get back to you, because I know that it's important. You know, we have social media. It's the way we live now. It's no longer, people thought it was a fad. Social media is the way it's running a lot of things in our society, and that goes without saying. But I said, if those are people that would like to contact you, I want to give them the opportunity. Now, I know, Dr. Jones, I know we're not supposed to talk about politics, but I'm just going to interject this just a little bit in here, because
go right ahead. I like living life on the edge.
I know you do, Dr. Jones.
I ain't scared.
Okay. Well, I know you are supporting. You're supporting someone that's, I believe they're independent. Is it Jade Simmons, correct?
Correct. You're absolutely correct.
So I'm going to give you a chance to talk about that with people, just to share that information, because knowledge is power. You never know who else may be interested in supporting Ms. Simmons. Okay.
Wow. Thank you for the opportunity. The voting is such a sacred exercise. It's such a sacred privilege. And so often, just before I came on today, I was thinking, there's a group of people out here, they are not Democrat, and they are not in line with the Republican platform. And if we look at this thing, our political process makes it feel like you got to go with one or the other. And we've set up this system such that it locks out people who have a voice that's somewhere in the middle, and it's not left and it's not right. It's not blue, it's not red. And Jade Simmons is a candidate that's running for president whose values align more closely with my Christian values as a believer, and someone who can represent the country and bring restoration. So I am supporting Jade Simmons. And if you want to look for more information on Jade, you can go to Operation Restoration 2020. Operation Restoration 2020, or you can just Google Jade Simmons. Also, Coach Mary D, another reason why I'm supporting Jade Simmons is one of my authors. She wrote and published a book many years ago with me, along with her sister Isis. So one of the things that I believe in as a coach, I believe in being a covenant coach. I like to stay connected with my clients as long as they want to be connected with me until they reach their dream or their goal or whatever it is that they're going after that's positive and serving value for the community. And so when it comes down to that, I'm not afraid to say and align myself with somebody that I have truly belief in, such as yourself, what you're doing, First Book Academy. I love your brand. I love what you're doing. And I pray that you'll become as successful as you believe you can. But Jade Simmons for president 2020, I feel confident that she's gonna be successful as becoming president. And I'm proud to be one of the early supporters, and because she's someone that I truly, truly believe in. Check her out, jadesimmons.com.
Oh, thank you. I know and for those of you that don't know the requirements to be president, there's very few, by the way. You have to be 35 years old. You have to be born on U.S. soil, and you have to live in the United States for 14 consecutive years. That's it.
Yeah.
That is it. You do not have to be an attorney. You do not have to. That's it. You just, those three things. If you are just born on U.S. soil, live in the United States 14 consecutive years, and be 35 years of age. And you can run to be president of the United States. You do have to pay a fee in order to run. I don't know what the fee is, but there is a fee involved that you have to pay when you're running for a presidential campaign. And then there's a point when you get to where they'll match you when you raise so much funds. Then the presidential the electorate, they will match your funds on fundraising. So just so you know, it's not as complicated, I think, as people think, and neither is it to be a U.S. senator. Then the U.S. senator, you have to be 30 years old. And then I don't know if you have to be born in the United States to be a senator. That I don't know. I don't remember that. But I know for a fact on the president you do. But it's not as complicated as we make it. So if anybody is interested in running for political office, Google it, and they'll tell you all you need to know about running for any political office at whatever level you're interested in. So I just want people to know. Not that I like to get into politics, but I know.
Well, it's kind of like writing a book. Writing a book is a simple process when you're guided by somebody who's been there, done that. It's a simple process. And a lot of things are simple that we oftentimes make hard. But it can be a simple process.
Well, I know, Dr. Jones, there's some, and I don't want to get into everything of your story, how you became an attorney.
Sure.
I think it's something people will want to hear, because you're a testament of perseverance.
Okay.
You didn't give up.
Coach Mary D, you're trying to ask me to tell about how many times I failed the bar exam before I passed.
No, I didn't say that, Dr. Jones.
No. No. You know me.
I said you're a testament to perseverance. It's up to you if you want to share that.
Oh, no. I took the bar exam one time. I failed the bar exam. I took the bar exam 2 times. I failed the bar exam. 3rd time, I get these letters in the mail. Dear Mr. Jones, we regret to inform you. And by then, I'm like, oh, God. Okay, so I was mowing yards before I went to law school. I sold my lawn care business to my brother. And the bar exam is only 2 times a year, February and July. Okay, so if you fail in July, you take it again in February, but you got to keep living and earning a living till February. Okay, and so I took it the 4th time. Dear Mr. Jones, we regret to inform you, you failed the bar. And by now, I'm living off credit cards. My wife is gone. I'm living in a little house with 2 boys. I mean, I've been working at you for 2, but okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Quilla.
Awesome. Dear Mr. Jones, we regret to inform you. So that was about time number 5. And by now, I mean, friends have moved on. Money is gone. I mean, I am living in a little house that I had to turn the heater on in the kitchen to heat up the room. And me and my 2 boys were sleeping in the bedroom by ourselves to stay warm. And we didn't have food to eat. And one of my buddies came by one day. He said, he pulled up in my driveway, and I have a little driveway that's real narrow. Them houses in Louisiana, the driveway is in the middle of the house. And my kitchen was right there, door would open to the driveway. So one day, one of my buddies pulled up to the driveway. He said, "Hey, little bruh, open the door." I looked, and he was a former professional football player, and he was kind of walking with a limp. And he got out of the car. He opened up his trunk, and he said, "Open the door, little bruh." And he threw in the bread, a bag of flour, and he threw in some bread, and he threw in just to begin to throw in groceries in the house. And I'm like, wow, man, we sure needed this. And he left. And so I'm like, man, I take the bar tomorrow. How am I going to get to the bar exam? And guess what? He showed up to take me to the bar exam. But before that happened, another friend of mine, Margaret from Lake Charles, she was helping me study for the bar. And I would go over to the hotel to study. And I was on my way to the hotel one day, and the engine blew up in my truck. And the engine went out in my truck. So I didn't have any transportation. And so, but I got on to the study session. And Margaret, God bless Margaret, she's in heaven now. But Margaret said, "Fred Jones, you're going to sit your blankety blank down, and you're going to pass this bar exam." She jumped my butt. And Margaret wasn't no taller than this. She was just yay high tall. But that chick had a big old heart. Margaret was a big heart, and she was a big believer in me. She believed in me. And that was the person who really helped me get through it. So the next day, I needed to get to the bar exam. So I called my buddy who had brought me the food the day before. He showed up. He took me to the bar exam. It was that exam that it was the next time I took it, and that was the time number 7. That was the 7th time that I took the exam, and it was at that time that I passed the bar exam. So now I'm admitted to Louisiana. I'm admitted to the United States Supreme Court Bar. I have taught law. I have written books about law, and I've helped 100% of my private clients become best-selling authors.
All right, Dr. Jones, I have to give you a hand. Even though I knew the story, I always like hearing it.
Yeah.
Because it keeps people encouraged. People think that a lot of people, after they take the bar one time, they give up, Dr. Jones.
Yeah. A lot of people stop. They stop.
But you made up in your mind you were not going to give up till you passed.
No. Quitting. Quitting, I've never quit. I was pledging in a fraternity. I didn't quit. My sister, I was pledging in fraternity. I came home to my sister one day. I said, "Anna, I want to quit. She says, "No, you can't quit. If you start quitting, you'll always be quitting."
Wow.
And so that kind of led me to this expression: never take advice from a quitter.
Ooh. Well,
Never.
see, and we didn't start the program. What's your very first, the one you always start and end all of your broadcasts with?
Oh, the most expensive thing you will ever pay is attention to the wrong people.
I have always liked that one. I said that has been something that I can hear ringing in my ears sometimes when I'm listening, and I think you need to know who you're taking advice from, because the road to an entrepreneur is not easy.
No, it's not. You have to, in the legal system, they do a thing called qualifying the expert. And what qualifying the expert simply means is know who the person is and what credentials did they have to bring them to the table.
Got it. Oh,
Yeah.
That's very true. And so you don't just assume because someone's talking that they know what they're talking about.
That's true.
Sometimes and I've been guilty of that, of taking advice when I probably shouldn't have.
Right. Well, we all been down that road. We all have done that a time or two.
That's true. So I know you're a newlywed, and you've been married how long now?
Oh, since January. Okay, so legally, we got married on January the 1st, but we didn't have our ceremony until February the 1st. So we got married in the middle of the pandemic, and the pandemic set in March.
Okay.
So January we got married. February we had the ceremony. The pandemic set in March.
And
so I'm here to tell you,
you're getting ready to celebrate your first anniversary pretty soon.
We're getting close. So we celebrated a beautiful marriage in the middle of the pandemic, and I'm thinking it's one of the best things that ever happened. I mean, really and truly, I'm excited about it.
I know every time I see you and Loretta, you're always smiling, no matter what.
Loretta is such a peaceful spirit. I mean, the lady is just phenomenal. when we did our vows, she said, I want you to know you married your message, Worthology. And I'm like, whoa, you married your message, because our stories are similar. Loretta comes from a big family. She's from Selma, Alabama, but she's been a librarian for pretty good period of time. But we got to know each other. Maybe I should tell you how we got to know each other.
Yeah, why not?
So while I was taking the bar exam in Atlanta, when I left Louisiana and went to Atlanta, and I started taking the Atlanta bar exam, I was addicted to taking the bar exam. So I meet these two young girls. They're twins who say they're from Louisiana. I'm like, you girls from Louisiana? Yeah, we're from Louisiana. We went to LSU. I'm like, I'm from Louisiana. Oh, the two young ladies were just impressive. Two impressive young ladies. I got to know them and their husbands. So during the bar exam, I became like a big brother. I was like the guy. I was praying for them, and I was looking out for them because they're from Louisiana. They were like young girls, and I had been out in Atlanta for a while, and I just kind of took it upon myself to protect them. And sure enough, they took the bar exam. I was praying. They passed the bar exam. I failed. Yep, I failed the Georgia bar. But they felt so bad for me that they wanted me to pass, and they shared their notes and everything with me. So fast forward, I got a job at Kennesaw State University as the business law and ethics professor and the business law and ethics coordinator. And I was still in touch with those young ladies, and one of them wanted to teach law, and her name was Sheree. Sheree wanted to teach law. And so I said, I hired Sheree to teach law for me at Kennesaw, one of the twins. Sheree was in Georgia, and Shantae was in Birmingham. She came back to Alabama. And so over the years, as Sheree and I got to know each other, she says, Fred, I want you to meet my mama. I say, girl, you don't want me to meet your mama. I'm like, oh, I'm like, oh, heck no. No. You don't want me to meet your mama. She says, yeah, I want you to meet my mama. And so, no. I said, I ain't in no condition to meet your mama. I was a broken man back then. I was still getting my act together. Sure enough, 3 or 4 years passed forward. November the 13th, 2015, Sheree invites me to come to Birmingham for a weekend with her and Daryl. And Sheree said she was writing a book. So Sheree was writing a book. I came to Birmingham, and I meet her mom. And ever since then, it's been all downhill. I mean, I met her mom, and of course, we went through some adjustments before everything leveled out. And then in 2020, we got married. So we met in 2013. It was 11, 15, 13. November the 15th, 2013. That's when we met. And we got married in December of we got married in January of 2020. So 7 years later, we got married.
Well, it's a match made in heaven.
I believe that. My daughters, they were older and I'm older, and we were having this debate about what should I call them, and I didn't want to, they don't call me dad. They're adults. I respect that. I don't come in like I'm your dad and all that. I didn't expect any of that. I came in as their friend who happened to be married to their mother. And that's been my goal. Now, their children, I like the granddad thing with the children. I like those are my grands there, But for them, I was just married to their mom. So we had this discussion the other day. And this is the first time I've shared this, Coach Mary. So you get to get this on your show. So we were having this discussion and everything. And they were like, what should we call you? And Loretta mentioned it to them. And after we had that discussion and they talked, they said, look, Fred. They said, Fred, you can call us. You can call us whatever you want to call us. Oh. So you call us whatever you want to call us. Both of them said it. And so that was so humbling. But they are so precious.
Oh, that's wonderful. I know when years ago my grandkids would ask me, what they call, their, because it's my husband and I, we both have children and grandchildren, and I'm Nana to everybody. And that works because the grandkids have other sets of grandparents and that they call grandma and grandpa. And it's really nice because I'm the only Nana. And anytime they say Nana, everybody knows it's me. They don't
Yeah.
try and figure out which grandparent are they talking about or nothing. It's always everybody, all the grandkids know I'm Nana. And they love it. I love every time I hear Nana, it just touches my heart.
Oh, it's a customized name.
It is.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Well, I
Yeah.
can tell you, Dr. Jones, you are a treasure. You are definitely a treasure. And your energy, I know I've been with you for a while, but I cannot think of when I've ever gotten on a conference call with you and you weren't positive. Usually you tell Jonathan, that's your son Jonathan, to bring you down because
Ah.
you say Jonathan, calm me down, Jonathan.
Put me down, yeah. Pump it down, pump it down. Yeah.
Because you are so on fire and you're on fire for the Lord. That's
Yeah.
the thing I will say, because I know now you are a minister too, right?
I am an ordained minister. I'm an ordained
Uh-huh.
minister. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Lord.
So I know people they can come on your periscopes and you have Facebook.
Yeah.
So on your social media, I don't know. Do you have an Instagram and LinkedIn?
I do. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. They can find me all over the place. Probably at Dr. Fred Jones. It's Dr. Fred
Okay.
Jones. Facebook, Frederick
Mhm.
Jones. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, I come in sometime I don't always say something, but I'm always listening and I'm always gleaning. I don't think I've ever been in one of your broadcasts I didn't learn something. Or just it touched me in some way. It was something about something that you said that affected me. So it's always been good. I try not to ever miss the ones we have on Mastermind on Mondays.
Yeah, well, you're consistent. You show up, but you got the goods too, Coach Mary. Your gift is a gift of presence. You bring presence. Okay. You also bring positivity and your smile. I mean, if I could put that in a bag, in a grocery bag or something, I would just buy it, and take it home.
Oh,
But
thank you.
you got a gift too, ma'am. And I just want to encourage you to just keep on coaching and keep on helping people get their stories out, because we can't have too many books. We can't have too many books in regarding to our children. Our children need more images of success that looks like them. And that's what you do. That's what you do. You bring success to our families. You help our children re-image themselves.
Oh,
You help our children reimagine greatness. Your book, A Rocket in My Pocket. That's such a
mhm,
powerful book of the little boy climbing the tree and just
mhm.
growing into greatness. That's powerful.
Um,
Good stuff.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. The one that's coming out pretty soon, it hasn't published yet, and that is Obi, the pink whale with the yellow tail.
Uh-huh.
And I'm really proud. I'm really proud of all of them. Any time, because as you know, Dr. Jones, it wasn't that long ago. My topic was about whales.
Yeah.
I wasn't writing children's books.
Uh-huh.
And I was sharing with people the importance of wills. I have since that time, people are still contacting me now because of what's going on with the coronavirus and things like that, and the necessity for a will and how important it is to have that and have your affairs in order. I think that's what it is. A lot of people just want to get their affairs in order. So that's what I've noticed. Even though I'm not as involved in that, I still let people know that I think that's something that they need. I can kind of give them some information about that kind of thing. So
Well,
I do.
yeah, I think your genius is with these books, and I think there's riches in niches, and so
Yeah.
when you niche down on what that thing is that you're doing, it's gonna really take you to a high level.
Oh,
So,
mhm. Oh, no, I was saying about because really, like I said, I was mentioning to you, I think earlier, it took a while for me to find that out. It
mhm,
didn't happen overnight. It
mhm,
didn't. It wasn't something that just people think. It looks like it did. It looks
mhm.
like overnight I started writing books, but it wasn't. It's been a journey to finding out that I could even do this and find out that there is It's something that it was probably in me all along, but I just didn't know that it was.
Yeah, anytime somebody can walk outside the door or get off an elevator and all of a sudden a book come up in their mind, or they hear something and they say, "Oh, that's a book." And then you go and you sketch it out and you got to. Here's the deal. Can do does not mean called to. You can do a lot of things, but what you're called to ignites a passion in you and it comes easy. And it comes easy and it also comes with energy. You're energized when you're doing that thing that you know you're called to do. And then the other thing, when you're doing what you're called to do, it elevates everybody around you.
Okay.
Okay. So it comes easy. It energizes you and
It does.
it elevates everybody around you.
Oh, you're so right, because I the story you're talking about, the elevator, and I mentioned it to you. My husband and I were in Brazil, and we got stuck in the elevator.
Uh-huh.
And after we got back in the hotel, when they got us out of the elevator and everything, and I was getting out the shower, the story came to me. It hit me. That's a children's book. Stuck in the elevator. So I sat down, and the book was written in about 35 minutes.
Yeah.
And because that's what started coming to me. The things that are going on in our lives can be turned into books, but we don't always recognize it as something that could be a book. So,
That's because they need a coach.
You could be right. You could be right.
and they need you.
Well, I like to tell you, Dr. Jones, I can tell I am. Thank you for spending some time. This is the first Mary D. Welch show, not to be the last. We're going to be on every Monday at 1:00. I'm so excited. It's just been, for me, this is a new adventure. I'm glad to have you. You're my very first guest, and you know how honored I am to be working with you, and I will continue to work with you. I just wanted to have you on and share your expertise and your knowledge with our audience. So I like to thank you for coming on. Do you have any closing words?
I want to thank you for having me here. And I'll just remind your audience, as I always say, the most expensive thing you'll ever pay is attention to the wrong people. And if you want to write a children's book, you might want to reach out and find Coach Mary D. with First Book Academy. I believe she's the best person to help you in the entire country. So look her up, find her, Coach Mary D. Welch.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Jones. And you can also reach me, those of you, you can send me an email. My email is Mary@First Book Academy, if you're interested in writing a children's book. And I will be having a 4-hour workshop on writing a children's book. That'll be coming up. So thank you again, Dr. Jones. And I really appreciate you. And you don't worry, I'll be calling you to come back again.
Thank you. So good to have you. So good to be here. Okay.
Oh, good. All right. We do appreciate you. Bye-bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back on Monday, the next Monday. Oh, thank you, Vic. You are so sweet. Oh my goodness. Oh, you know what, you guys? I don't know what I would do without you guys. I really don't. So I like to thank each and every one of you for coming on the show. I'm excited about this. And believe it or not, some of you are going to be asked to be guests on the show too. So don't be surprised when I call you. Don't be surprised at all. Equilla, it's nice of you guys to just stop by. It means more than you know. It touches my heart. It really does. So I'll be back next Monday. You have my email, Mary@First Book Academy. You can reach me there. And as I said, it's going to be a 4-hour workshop. It's intensive. It's coming up within the next 2 weeks. If those of you that are interested in writing a children's book, you really don't want to miss this. This is going to be, I literally take you, as they say, from soup to nuts. I'm writing a children's book. Many of you have seen my books, and I'm going to take you step by step of the things I do to write a children's book, and where the ideas come from and how they flow, and how you have a children's book in you. So thank you. I really do appreciate it. And I do appreciate Brian, who's in there. You guys don't see him, but he's back there. He's my producer. Thanks, Brian. And I will see you guys again on next Monday. All righty. God bless each and every one of you. Love you. Bye-bye, everybody.